Alice, starring Linda Lavin, and Trapper John M.D., starring Pernell Roberts and Gregory Harrison, will return next Sunday night at their regular times over most of these stations. Do tune in.
Saturday on Airwolf.
You've been comatose for the better part of a year.
Hawk falls victim to a bizarre scheme where nothing is what it seems.
A good friend dead. A brother coming back as if from the dead.
And only a beautiful nurse holds the key to a mystery that could destroy Airwolf. Then, on Mickey Spillane's Mike Hammer.
It was the second time in a week I had the red strobing of an ambulance light dancing across my eyelids.
The serial numbers on that gun show it to be government issued.
Things are getting out of hand fast.
Saturday.
This is CBS.
Mark, our boat. Let's go, gents. It's time for us to go. Our boat is here. My boat is here.
All U.S. Marines have now left the fighting in Beirut, replacing it instead with fighting from the ships offshore. We'll have that story. We'll also tell you about the first teacher strike that could hit the metro area as soon as 7:30 tomorrow morning. Chaska teachers are tonight preparing to hit the picket line. We'll also hear from Skip Walcher talking to voters on the campaign trail in New Hampshire. These and other stories coming up next on the 10 p.m. report.
Modern gas furnaces keep heating costs down. That's why more Midwesterners heat with gas than with all other energies combined. Gas gives you more for your money.
I would have said the last thing we women need is another maxi pad. Until this material was invented. They call it dry weave. And it's the patented covering on new Always maxi pads. One look, and you'll see it's designed to give us a refreshingly different kind of protection that simply didn't exist until now. Fabulous. New Always with dry weave. The touch of protection no other maxi has. Always mini pads and panty liners, too.
Introducing the only leaven freshened detergent for a clean that breaks the static barrier. Introducing new Fab with full-strength fabric softener.
Full-strength fabric softener plus full-strength detergent in new Fab? Fabulous! No more staticky socks or clingy wash, and such a fabulous clean.
Towel soft, Mom.
And lemony fresh.
Get a clean that breaks the static barrier.
Your Fab, we're glad there's full-strength fabric softener in you.
WCCO Television, Minneapolis, St. Paul. From the new WCCO Television Communications Center in the Twin Cities, this is the 10 p.m. report. With Mike Walcher, Dr. Walt Lyons, and Tom Hanneman.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. There are no more American Marines in Beirut, Lebanon tonight. The last soldiers left today, hoping, no doubt, that they had made some kind of dent in the struggle between the factions there. But the simple facts are these. Druze Muslim militiamen, Shiite militiamen, and Syrian gunners moving in just moments after the last Marine was gone, picking apart the American compound, putting up flags, staking the territory as their own as they prepared to continue to do battle with the Lebanese government. It wasn't the kind of ending the Americans had hoped for, but it was a welcome ending nonetheless.
The last Marines left the way they came, across the beach. It was finally time to leave Lebanon behind. No one was reluctant to go.
Glad to get off the beach. Glad to get the troops off the beach. No more wounded, no more killed. Go home.
But a few of them did need a nudge. The withdrawal was military all the way. Tanks waiting to move afloat, deployed with guns pointing to the hills. Ground troops covered the rear. The battleship New Jersey opened up less than an hour after the last Marine left. The 16-inch gun shelled the Syrian-held mountains. A reminder that though the Marines are leaving Lebanon, the U.S. intends to stay involved.
I think we held our tradition, the Marine Corps tradition, traditionally. We're the best.
Moving to the ships of the 6th Fleet means they won't be caught in the crossfire anymore. It also means a bit more comfort after the mud and cold showers on shore. The first units aboard this morning arrived by chopper. They were looking forward to the change. But they aren't going home quite yet. They'll stay off the Lebanese coast until another Marine unit replaces them in April. The Marines left a few friends behind in Lebanon, but overall, their popularity has plunged. To many Muslims, they've lost their neutrality, sided with the Christian right. For the Marines, the pullout was a celebration. But from the Lebanese, there were no flowers, no cheers, and no victory parades. Larry Pintack, CBS News, West Beirut.
But judging from the faces in Italy today, the Mideast mission was anything but a defeat, as 1,200 peacekeepers returned home to a hero's welcome. The troops arrived in one of Italy's northern port cities to an emotional celebration by family, friends, and Italian President Pertini. During their 18-month stay in Beirut, the Italians pretty much avoided making enemies. They suffered only 69 injuries and only 1 death. About 400 of their men will remain in Lebanon to protect Italian property there. Tonight, 181 school teachers in the Chaska district are poised to go out on strike in 9.5 hours. Those teachers held a rally tonight to pump up enthusiasm for the possibility of trading their schoolrooms for the picket line. The rally was part song fest, part old-fashioned revival, as teachers carried placards and voiced songs with anti-school board lyrics. Their statewide leader said education now needs big bucks, not miserly school boards.
There's no two ways around it. And education is an expensive commodity, and anybody who thinks that the only reason you should get elected to a school board or whatever is to cut taxes doesn't clearly understand what they're fiddling around with. Because you're talking about democracy.
Tonight, state mediator Andy Anderson is meeting with both sides at the Normandy Hotel in downtown Minneapolis. The strike deadline, though, is set for 7:30 tomorrow morning. It would be the first teachers' strike in the metro area this school year. With just 2 days left now before the New Hampshire primary, Colorado Senator Gary Hart is doing some offbeat campaigning, buoyed by the latest poll, which puts him second behind Walter Mondale, thus ousting Ohio's John Glenn as the Democratic PAC's #2 man. In the Washington Post poll, Mondale ranked first with 38%. Hart gets 24%, followed by Glenn with only 14%. Hart said today that after New Hampshire, he will emerge as Mondale's prime challenger for the nomination. But as our Skip Loescher reports from New Hampshire, the frontrunner's camp isn't worried.
Even on a rainy day in Manchester, the Democratic presidential line forms behind Fritz Mondale. There seems little doubt that a Mondale win is in the bag, but even Mondale's campaign officials admit he won't run away with it, as he did in Iowa.
When you think of New Hampshire, you probably think about peaceful rural scenes like this one. But scenes can be deceiving. We're standing right in the middle of a busy city motel courtyard.
High-tech businesses have brought sunshine to Manchester. The unemployment rate is low. But many of the textile mills and tanneries, which were the backbone of the economy, stand empty now. A sad silence has replaced the sounds of the men, women, and machines which for generations kept this city alive. Felix Polkak, he likes to be called Phil, is the only one still here. He guards his old friend against vandalism. I'm for Mondale, he says, and so's my wife, my 3 kids, and their wives. But he's sick of the campaign.
They bother you with literature, and they keep calling you on the telephone at all hours. I think it is too long.
And you can hear the same complaint from most of the folks over at the American Legion Club a few blocks away. Many of those sipping beer and playing cribbage say Mondale will win on Tuesday, but they don't think he'll beat Reagan next fall. Russ Foster is one of them. Russ likes Alan Cranston's stand on the nuclear issue and thinks Cranston could do well here Tuesday, but not well enough to win. Mondale will do that.